Hello again, Jim from Remick Museum and Farm here, and I'm back again this week with another at-home experiential lesson that will help us connect us to the world around us. Last week we focused a little bit about the natural world with phenology, and I thought today would be a nice time to think about our food. At the farm, one of our favorite themes to share is where does our food come from? And at our farm, we can go visit the chickens and help collect some eggs, maybe help out and do some chores around the farm, get to watch a milking demonstration with the goats and the cows. There's lots of things to explore and interact with on our farm. And since I can't go visit the farm right now, I thought, hey, we can still learn a lot about where our food comes from right here at home. So I've got an activity that'll help us think about that. So let's learn a little bit more about our food. All right, so today's activity is pretty simple to set up, but it can go a lot of different places. And so what we're doing is doing some research on the food that we have just right in our own homes. And so I just did a random sampling of 10 items from my cupboard or pantry. You could do more or less than that, however you were feeling. And then I just wrote down what those items were and where they came from. And so I've got a list here of all my places and what those food items was. And I decided it would be a lot of fun to make a map. So I made a map on Google Maps, and it's pretty easy to be able to input the location and then drop a pin and then zoom out because, well, look at that. My food came from a lot of different places. I've got a lot of things. We're up here in New Hampshire, and I've got some things very local, like our Remick Farm maple syrup, things from Vermont and Massachusetts, but I have things all the way down in South and Central America, over in California. So food, just these random 10 things I grabbed, can come from a lot of different places. And if you don't have access to a computer, that's all right too. If you've got maps, travel atlas, anything that can show you where these places are, we can then connect to. Now, I made this on the computer. If you've got a map, or you can print out a map, you could put thumbtacks in it and connect to your house with some yarn or string, and that might make a fun little activity to put up on the wall or just be able to visualize really well. After you're done, what I think is a good idea too is to come and look and think about, okay, now what does this mean? I've got a nice map here, but what does that mean? So I think this is actually a good time for the old pros and cons list. Write down some of the things that you think are good about where that item comes from and why, and maybe some things that might not be so good about it, right? Maybe it's because it comes from there, it's only in season in that place and they can get it here. But if it has to travel a long way, maybe that requires a lot of energy for it to get here. And if you're still interested after doing that, you might be able to do a lot of research on some of these different places that some of this food came from. Maybe, I don't know a lot about some of these other countries. Maybe I should research even more and find out more about not only where that food came from, but how are they farming it, what's going on. There's an endless amount of research that could be done. So that's the end of my part of the lesson, which leaves the rest up to you. After you get done with your research, there's so many different things that you could do. We could incorporate some great math skills and calculate all the distances that your food may have had to travel. You can, find all kinds of cool information out. And if you don't already, I definitely encourage everyone to look and see who has food around them with local farmers. They might be at local farmers markets. They might just be right at their own farm. And one of the major reasons I really enjoy that is because you can often go visit the farm, see where and how they're producing their food. And that's a really great opportunity to see where our food comes from. If you're following along on YouTube, definitely like and subscribe so that you can keep up to date on these newest videos each week. And if you're following along on Facebook, certainly like and follow us. And if you would like to, you can share some of your own maps. If you hand drew a map maybe about where your food came from, you can share that in the comments. I'd really like to see some of that stuff. So have a great week, everyone. Stay well, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.